I'm Nick Mara, and this is After the Turns. Welcome to another episode, a winner's episode of After the Turns. Not after the lap 7. He said it like 3 times, we know, but it's okay. But a winner's edition. Danson, I know. Congratulations on the win. We're so proud of you. No one expected it. What a shock. Really a shock. And we'll get to that. But we have obviously Matt and myself. And we've got Mike Kuchinsky joining us as a special guest today. How are you today, Mike?
Good. How's everybody going today?
Well,
we're doing awesome.
Danson's happy. Some of us are a little embarrassed, I think, but we'll get to that in a moment. But, hopefully you've watched all of our episodes or listened to our episodes so far, Mike. And as you know, we do go from, unfortunately, in this situation, worst to first. So we're going to start off with you today. It was a rougher race for most of us out of the 4 on this chat here. So why don't we go through your day first at Sonoma and how it all went?
Whoa, wow. My day actually went from almost not making it to getting 7 laps in and then quitting. Basically, I flew in from Atlanta, and it took me about 2.5 hours with traffic to get home. I was trying to speed more than the speed limit says, which is basically in my book. You go fast, that's it.
So you're faster in traffic than you were in the race on Monday night.
Oh my God, from the top rope. Oh my gosh, okay.
That's right. I mean, speed limits just means go faster. So I don't really do the speed limit. I go faster. But anyway, I got home within about 30 minutes, turned my computer on, and by the time I was all ready to go, I was ready for race. So I made 7 laps. I did not feel confident in, continuing. So I just parked it. And I figured just make a couple laps, at least get points, and then park it.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you off the last corner. I think you spun it, and then you were gone. So it was a spot for me. So I really appreciated that. But I kind of feel your pain there, Mike. My race, it was really comical. So I would say it was a busier week than I thought, just naturally. So I didn't get any practice in until Monday afternoon. And it was kind of like one of those situations when you were growing up where, you didn't study for a test until the day of. And then, you tried to cram last second. And then, the unfortunate thing, bless you, Danson, I know.
Bless you.
You really want to hear what I'm going to say here. The bad thing about this situation as opposed to a test situation is, YouTube and, all of the viewers got to see my lack of preparation on the big screen. It was a horrific experience. I think that's how I would describe it. So, I think this is the second race in a row where I went into turn one of the first corners and went up the S's. Already didn't even qualify out of fear. Went right off the track, right into the wall in the first corner. And I was like, this is how it's going to be today. Okay. Nobody saw it because I was so far behind everyone anyway. I think I was wondering, in my mind, I had set an over-under of we should have done this last week, but how many times was Danson going to lap me? I put 2.5 times as the over. Well, 2.5 was the over-under. I would have taken the over, and it was lap 7, spun out for the 4th time. And I saw you coming up behind me, and I was like, oh, shit. This is this is not what I at least give me till lap 10, double-digit laps before he's lapping me. I'm sure, I was wondering what you were thinking during that time. If I wasn't so concentrated on not wrecking lead lap cars, I would have made a lot of jokes on the radio. But it was a bad experience overall. So
Matt was not feeling jokes on the radio. I think right off the bat, Steve was feeling a little talkative, especially with us. And Matt had made the comment that this is not a social media platform on the radio.
Is that what you said? Oh God, sure you did say that.
So he goes in there for it's a social thing. That's his moment to chat to his pals. It's
yeah, well, he did say he made a comment. He went off the track. We were battling. It was a pretty intense battle for 39th, and he had gone off the track, and he was like, "I don't make right turns," and I was like, "We're we're literally 15 seconds behind 38th. None of us are making right turns here. This is not going well. I have a whole new respect for all 4 Rick Ware racing cars in NASCAR every week, because that is what I felt like. It was a complete disaster. I think, Danson, the second time you lapped me, I literally just pulled to the side and was like, please just go. Just don't. I don't even want you around me. I think, the Blue Flag and I became best friends. The Blue Flag and Nick Mara, name a better combo. I don't think it exists, because literally every turn for like 20 laps, I was getting a blue flag. It was, I think, the third time, Danson, you came to lap me, I had made an accidental excursion through the new part of the track, like up one of the hills on accident. I don't know if you saw me up there. Like, I really got out of your way, and I was just like, holy shit, this is just, I can't do it.
Was that the right hander where you turn on to the IndyCar section and
Yes,
just went straight? You're right. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, did you see me? I was way. I was like, here he comes. I'm just going to go like 100 feet to the right. I can't stop. And that was just, at that point, I was like, you know what?
That.
Not only am I a hazard to myself, but like all of the lead lap cars. And the last thing I wanted to do was to wreck one of you guys. Danson, if I wrecked you, it was actually a really good race for seconds. So I think that the broadcast would have been happy if I had. And I thought about it, but I don't think I could ever face you again if I had made a mistake. So I pulled off the track out of shame and humiliation. 32nd, not a bad finish for just how awful it was. And it's funny because I talked to Matt and I was like, yeah, this is like the most fun I've ever had at a road course through like the 10 laps of practice I did. And it was just.
I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
Did you spin on turn 2, lap 1?
Yeah. Yeah, I went up the hill, and no, I didn't spin out, Danson. I went up the hill, and I went straight, and I hit the wall.
Okay.
It wasn't even a spin.
Because I saw, when I watched the broadcast, I could just see you in the background, like everything else is happening, and you're just in the background off in the sand. I was like, what's going on there?
I honestly figured you literally, and you probably honestly are like, during an hour and a half to 2 hours that the race is happening, you're probably just like, I'm just I'm sorry to blame it. I'm just thinking about winning. I don't really care. But like when you pass me, or like, I really should mention them on the winner's interview. Like, oh, this guy is that bad. Like, I'm lapping him in 7 laps. He jokes. He actually sucks. I was like, I wonder, did you think those thoughts? Like either lap 7 or 4th. Yeah, he doesn't. I assumed you probably don't because you were too busy thinking. But if you want to take a shot at me on the next road course when you're lapping me inside of 10 laps, feel free to do that. Because it was honestly like I had to reassess my life afterward. It was a rough day. So
Sonoma's tough. So I wasn't. And to be honest, I didn't even see as I was lapping people, I wasn't even looking what position they were in. I just had mine on the on the. I guess it's F2, the F2 box, which just like updates at the end of each lap. Because that way you get a better idea of, the gaps and how they're changing. So I just had it on that the whole time. So I didn't know who I was passing. The only car I was watching out for was Matt's. I thought at the moment I get up the inside, he's just going to turn in on me, destroy my left front again.
No, it's funny because he was in a battle. We're going to talk about Matt's race now. My race was a disaster. Yeah. But he did say something like, how big of a lead does Danson have? Because I stayed on the Discord for a bit. And I was like, yeah, it's like 92nd. He's like, okay, so I don't need to move over for him. I'm racing right now. I don't need to move over for him. And
we had a test battle for 23rd. I think they were showing it on the broadcast, too. They stuck with us for a couple hours. Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah.
Was that before or after you wiped out the top 5?
I felt so sick. I was like, this is why I quit. Sorry, you should probably go ahead. It was like 8th place, okay? I know this because I watched afterward, and I was like, please stay in 8th, because the apology is going to be really rough afterward if the top 10 car doesn't. No, Sam did not pass him for 8th, so you were good, Matt. But yeah, you had an interesting race. You should probably talk about it.
Yeah. Also, it's my turn now. Okay, so I can talk a little bit about my race. Yeah, so I did meet with Sam before the race, and he helped me out. Unlike Danson, who had the empty offer last week that we were going to all have a practice.
Hey, he's big time, baby. He doesn't want to share his
contacted me.
Oh, is that
right? So I didn't ask directly, I guess, but I did. Yeah. I asked some questions that you answered after the race. Hiding your secrets to get that intense 24-second lead. Don't want to give anyone an in.
Okay, just give us, if you gave me 3 seconds, I would be 35th by like 10 seconds instead of 60. But
hell yeah.
Yeah.
So,
he just doesn't.
Yeah, so Sam offered so shout out to you, Sam. Thanks for helping me. It was only like 30 minutes, but I gained like 2 seconds on my optimal. And I think Sam was saying he's running like 138.3s. My optimal is like a 139.6. And I was like, if I'm only a little over a second, I had said top 15 last week is what I wanted. I would have been happy with a top 20. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll be okay here. And last year was my first race here. And I finished 12th. So, I think the hope was somewhere around there. I thought this would be a better track because it did seem like a lot of people thought it was a challenging track. And I didn't think it was that challenging, at least from a road course. The other road courses, like I thought Coda was way harder. I enjoy Sonoma, and I'm familiar with it with all the laps I ran there last year. So I was feeling pretty good going in the race. I qualified like 25th, which I was like, fine. I expected to qualify around 25th, and people are going to have issues. And that's exactly what I did last year, is kind of just avoid trouble, right? I just kind of minding my own business, not racing people too hard. And I was doing okay. I was in, I think, 19th place, probably lap 18, 19, kind of just running behind Brian Chambliss, who I had let go by. He caught me from a couple seconds back. He's probably a few times faster a lap. He had passed me up. And last week's winner, Brian Chambliss. And he made a mistake, which I've made plenty of times, but it ruined my day. We'll take a look at it. I wasn't too happy about this. I understand this first piece here where he kind of lost it, but then he gasses into the driving lane. And I had like 2.5 minutes of damage after that. My day was done. So I told Nick on the radio, I was like, where's my apology? And I know Brian's a good guy from everything I've seen, right? But I was definitely heated after this, and it totally took me out of sync. I've made a few mistakes after this too, but just kind of knew at that point that my day was, the hopes of a top 20 was kind of done at this point. So that was frustrating. And then after that, we were having a good battle for 23rd or so. Grant Davis, Eric de Blasio, and myself. And I had caught them from several seconds back, but I was, I had a slightly fresher tires because of the pit strategy. And I was just like, okay, well, I'll just kind of ride behind them, let them use up their tires. And I don't know how to save tires, so I don't know why I was thinking like that, but that was my thought. And we get caught by, so we moved for you, Danson. And yes, I did say that. My thought was, okay, well, Nick had said that you had a 13-second lead, like before pit stops. We're having a great battle here. I'm like, am I going to feel bad if I slow him up a little bit? Inevitably, when you did catch us, I just moved out of the way. But, I didn't pull a Sean Casto of sorts. I just got out of the way. Didn't want to cause any issues there. But for some of the other cars, they're for second and everyone behind you, if you would have seen us, you would have I don't think you needed an extra interval, but there was some intense battling with us. 23rd through 25th and second through probably 6th or 7th trying to get by us. I know Grant and I moved out of the way, and Eric de Blasio was kind of giving them some trouble. And I was like, come on, like we can have our own race without, causing issues for everyone else. Because I think like 2nd through 7th or 8th were within a couple seconds of each other. And I've known Grant as like an extremely respectful driver, so I didn't expect, anything less. Him and I just kind of moved out of the way. And then Nick was still on the Discord at this point, and he tells me, hey, you're on the broadcast. They're showing you right now. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'll give the camera a thumbs up.
Yeah. Oh, did you really?
Cool. Yeah. So on the broadcast at the same time, we're battling off the turn, what it used to be turn 11. I don't know how many turns there are now. The last turn. And I got a little loose under Grant.
No.
And they thought that I was pissed at him, like a sarcastic thumbs up. And Grant, I'm not pissed at you. We were good. I just messed up coming off the turn. You gave me plenty of room. That was just, I knew I was on the broadcast. So I was like, hey, cool. Maybe I should have waved or something. I don't know. But no drama there, Grant. We're good. Regardless.
Where was there drama? I think Eric de Blasio would say there was some drama.
Yeah, so about 2 laps later, I lost it going that last turn before the hairpin at the end. I got into the grass a little bit. I was catching it, and then I caught it into him and ended his day, which I was like, I mean, I got on the radio immediately and apologized. I was just like, I mean, 24th versus 25th, I feel bad about that. That's completely unnecessary. So, again, apologies to Eric. At that point, I was mad about the Brian thing until then, and then I'm like, I got no room to talk. So I guess that's how racing works. Not fair for Eric. So again, apologize for that. But came home 24th. Not what I was hoping for. I think that's since Bristol Dirt, where I finished 8th. That's I think 6 straight races where I finished between 23rd and 29th. Which I guess when we have 40 between 40 and 43 cars, that's not the worst, but that's not very exciting, right? So, that was my day. I guess the other piece is we did do this at the last road course, so these numbers shouldn't be much of a surprise, but I did wear my Fitbit. So we'll go look at the numbers.
No, that's not real. No,
yeah. The numbers, they looked very similar to Coda. I burned, it says about 130 more calories. I need to burn any of the calories I can. And so, I mean, I guess that middle point there was probably around the Chambliss incident, the orange there in my head and on this graph. And I think that's, nothing too surprising compared to what we saw at Coda on the Fitbit. But I was definitely sweating a lot more this time than I was at Coda.
So to the winner and to the guest, what do we think of those numbers? Those are pretty intense numbers. It almost feels like an hour and a half at Sonoma is basically a marathon. But what do we believe that? I don't know. What do we think?
The first thing I want to know is how much did you run before you got on the sim?
Absolutely not. I can tell you that for sure. Nothing in the last year, so it's definitely clean on that side.
Yeah, I think I put it on right before the race not to get the bad data.
Interesting. Danson, did you even break a sweat during your...
Did I? Not really. I was pretty chill, even with the VR. I was so I did another race like 2 days before or a day before, whatever, where I I started the race with a jumper, like a big hoodie and everything. And Matt, as you'd know, like with the VR, it gets super hot. And so by lap 3 or 4, I was regretting that decision because I forgot to take the hoodie off. But I was well prepared. I had had a beverage ready. In fact, actually, that Nick, there's a question in the chat asking what you got in the fridge behind you there. So you have to get to that soon. But yeah, no, I was.
It's not really super applicable. That's not racing related. No alcohol. I just drank the last of it. That's what you're wondering. I can tell you there's nothing. Good. We can go through. I know. I'm out now. I'm a little disappointed by that. Sorry. And Danson, did you have to get IVs after the race? I think Matt had to go to the care center and get some IVs. It was a rough day. Yeah, I think he fainted coming out of the car. He needed medical attention. He went to the care center.
That's because he did so many circles. He would have been dizzy.
Yeah,
that feels different in VR.
You're right. You were just going straight the whole time. True, it was a different story. Yeah. So you should talk about it. At least it was the most boring of the 4 days. That's for damn sure. But thank you for sticking up the show and talk to us about it. When did you feel like you had this one? Was it like last Monday night when we were talking?
Jeez. So yes, I've just seen some of the activity in the chat, which is big time. When do I think I had it won? I was pretty confident going in because Sonoma I really enjoy. As far as did I definitely think I was going to win? Not until about maybe lap 6 or 7. Because going into it, so in practice I was fast-ish. I saw some of the times the other guys were doing, and I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And then quali, I almost balls that up. I had to bail on my first lap and go for the second attempt. And then got the pole, and that was pretty good. But I like in the first few laps, Adam, sort of not too far off me. I was trying to really just, protect the tires, just make sure I'd have something for that. Because obviously, like you said, it's a long race, and I was only planning to stop once. So I didn't know exactly what the other guys would be thinking, but I was pretty certain the one stopper was the play. And so I was just trying to conserve. And then after that sort of lap 5, lap 6, I saw that he was starting to struggle a lot. And, all of a sudden it went from me only sort of either breaking even for those first couple of laps or maybe pulling like a 10th or so here and there. And then all of a sudden, lap 6, I think it was the first time I pulled half a second on one lap. And then it just stayed around that sort of mark until they started having their big brawl. And then I got heaps of time. Other than that, the race was pretty chill for me, to be honest with you. After that point, it was just a matter of hitting my marks, doing the same thing, over and over, and just working through the lap traffic. Which it was weird because it felt like the Daytona 24, just with how there was always it was very rare there were laps without traffic, and which was bizarre because normally you get through some cars, but there's kind of like if you do like NIS or something, it's you have some traffic, but it's not anything outrageous. But this thing was just crazy, and you had some people that would jump out the way, like you, Nick, where you went the old layout to just make sure that I had the inside. Yeah.
And I went over the hill in the sand, so we didn't run into each other. Yes,
and through the woods. Yeah, exactly.
Respectful. I don't think anyone was more respectful than me. I think the whole field can say that as well. Yeah. Anyway. Were there some people that weren't giving you the room? Maybe they knew that for the action's sake that they should probably mix it up a little bit with you.
True. Actually, funny story. I got to Casto, and he didn't hold me up or anything. Not on purpose. When I arrived, he was doing the opposite of you. He was coming back from the sand, so he'd had a little stop, I guess. And he was just rejoining. I thought this is gonna be so classic. He's gonna light up the rears on the dirt, whatever, and then just go straight, into the sun.
Honestly, all of our biggest fears, Danson. That was literally all of the lap car fears. None of us didn't worry about that. Don't worry. I'm sure he was. Yeah. He's probably afraid of you too because you've trashed him for like 3 straight weeks on this podcast. So within a 100-foot radius of him, he's gonna bitch about it. So I should probably just get out of the way.
Well,
exactly.
Well, I think before Danson says anything else, we do have a message from Sean Casto for Matt Danson that we're going to watch now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. Matt, congratulations on getting you picture is per usual on these right and turns here on the public thing. I have a hard time even still in the same lap as you as we saw Coda. I think Brandon had a pretty pig for us. I didn't know any of my brake markers. I don't think you got too mean per se for any of the turns. And you on the outside of the F's. You try to pass me in S's, and that's, I don't think, successful for really anybody in the history of motorsports per se. I like this of course. So, from. But anyway, I'd like to also take a second to thank all the sponsors. More specifically, this month we are displaying LGBT schemes. We have a couple of our cars in the colors you see here. I'd like to take a second to appreciate the whole community. Also, again, thank you guys for having me on. Mac, again, congratulations. And we'll see you next week.
So the comment there, and I know I think the audio was going in a little in and out. But his comment was that you tried to take them side by side in the S's, and he said he didn't think anyone in the history of racing has ever made that work. That was his comment to you. I guess. Any thoughts on that?
I could have shown him if he had have held his line, but I mean that was only like a 5% of the issue, because it was more so, turn one, he's chopped across me, and then the shoot between 1 and 2, I thought he brake checked me, but maybe that's just his speed through there. I don't know, but
as a fellow lap car, that probably is our speed through there. So just called letting it go. We let it go. You won both races. You won both. Now, actually, we've got Danson. Did we put another one together from Eric de Blasio for Matt? I'm joking. We don't have We're going to have to get that for next week. I think we'd have a bunch of list of people. We'll have Thomas George send one to him. Steve Soa send one to him.
Thomas George. So he was probably the nicest of all the lap cars.
How he's scared.
I was expecting. I thought he was just going to send me straight in the tire barrier, but because he's been featured in every single episode so far. But
we're going to talk about it because we're there. I feel like we're getting way off topic here, but Thomas George did reach out last week. Somebody had told him, and rightfully so, that his Twitch stream was being broadcasted on our podcast. That was pretty unprofessional. Should have probably reached out to him, and I did apologize for that. We won't let anyone else.
You said if you don't want it on there, don't put it public.
I do believe that at the same point too, right? I do believe that, right? But certainly the intention here is not to piss people off, which obviously
imagine streaming and not wanting people to see it.
Exactly.
Matt's pissing people off on the track. He doesn't want to piss them off on the track. Complete difference. Monday night from 8 to 10, he's going to piss everybody off, and he's going to apologize for it on the podcast. So it's okay. It's okay.
So I think with that, we'll take a sneak peek, and we'll get back to it later. But we will sneak peek to the after the turn schedule. 7:27, we're going to have Thomas George on. So I know there's a lot of people who've been excited about that episode.
I'm excited for that episode.
Yeah,
I'm a little afraid for that episode.
That Thomas George confidence, we're all going to learn a little bit, right? So, again, every Tuesday night here at 11 p.m. Eastern, aftertheturns.com. You'll find us here. We have a great lineup here, and including Thomas George on the 27th. So, enough about that.
Hold on. There was probably the most important part of the broadcast.
Yes, that's
it was. And Mike, I don't know if you had ended up listening to this, but basically from about 20 laps to go, I think I sent continuous prayers up to the RSR gods that Danson was going to mention our podcast on the winner's interview. It was going to happen. And again, I assumed that by me getting lapped every other lap that he probably would remember. That was just my due diligence there. And guys, he mentioned it. We were so happy. I think you were going to forget. I think I don't know how you forget about us, Danson, but you almost did again. We do appreciate it. If you want to reference my name next time, just feel free to do that as well. Interview. Sorry. But I just got to tell you, the next time that I get in another crash, I want to be the name again, just like at Charlotte.
Okay.
I want to be the name of the 20 of us that are crashing. So we know
you got that high, you got that rush that you want to.
That was top. Did I say this last week? Top 10 or 15 moment of my life was when I was mentioned. So if that could just happen again on the next accident, this is the All-Star race. We're gonna crash this week. So when that happens, I want my name to be reached out. And Danson, I don't know. If you listen to it, Danson, but I guess the broadcast was listening to us because you got the Evan call and he mentioned it. You got the winning call, so we should have had that. We should have clipped that and sent it to you. How did that feel?
That made me smile. That was cool, and like you said, a nice little nod, obviously, to show that he's tuning in. So hey, Evan. My only gripe about the broadcast was I just wasn't featured enough. At least I got the whole last lap. That was good.
James Danson all over again from Chicago Street Course. He dominates the race, and everybody's bitching about how he didn't get enough TV time, right? He won by 2.
And he's Australian. Isn't he? So maybe, is it a vendetta? We have to ask ourselves that question.
Stop Australian hate.
Australian lives matter. Yes.
It was funny because you're right. I think they showed you the first lap, and they're like, well, he's gone. We'll see him at the one from the last lap. Literally the only thing that was going to keep you from winning or anything happening was a computer issue. So that was the one question that I thought of as you were rooting the race for all the people watching. So you have a lead like that, you have nothing to think about. Do you worry about about like, hey, if I don't know, if like something goes off or if something dumb happens like that, because it's happened to me a couple of times. Is that ever a thought that goes through your mind when you're just cruising like that?
My stuff's pretty reliable, but to be honest with you, since I got I switched over from the Oculus to the G2, the only thing that does catch me out sometimes, and I had to change where the button is mapped on my wheel to make it like really quick and easy to access. If I forget, which I usually do, to like look around before I start iRacing, it will sometimes just like auto recalibrate the seating position where like mid race, and so like I'll be entering a corner.
Yeah.
Like so it happened at Coda. I was entering turn 1, and all of a sudden the view just went whoop, and it just was like looking out the window. But thankfully, like I was in the braking zone, so like I was still braking, doing everything normal. I could just like muscle memory the downshifts and stuff, and then reach across and quickly bop to the button for the to recenter the view. But yeah, that's probably the only concern for me is having the VR like either recalibrate or just turn off, especially on a road course. But no, my stuff's usually pretty good. I wasn't too worried.
Oh, well, good for you. Happy for you, sad for the three of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
One comment before we leave that on the Evan stuff. We're having Evan on next week. He should know that the name of the show he's joining next week is After the Turns. I don't know if you guys caught that. He called it After the Laps again, second week in a row from the Race Spot TV crew.
To be fair, I think I said it wrong multiple times. I think on the podcast. So
Around the Turns, yeah, and then After the Laps was invented by the Race Spot TV crew. At the end of the day, what's important is that we're doing this and people are listening, right? So at the end of the day, it's really cool to be honest.
I have to look now. Is it After the Turn? It's After the Turns.
It's not After the Turns. Yeah.
After the Turns. Okay.
Yeah, you've been getting it right.
I opened the Discord to double check. Like before I said anything, I was like feverishly trying to find something that had the name on it to make sure I said it right. So I think just have all the names. Just use them all. Yeah. Have a graphic for each week.
I will admit. So when I was not thinking, and so when I first purchased the domain to redirect to the Twitch account, because no speed racer doesn't mean anything. AfterTheTurns.com, I bought it, but first I
does to like 30 other guys in RSR. They get it. They know it's you.
Yeah. So it does all work. It does all work. I don't have After the Laps purchased yet, but maybe that'll be my next purchase. Get AfterTheLaps.com.
Yeah. Send a redirect. I guess that was pretty much it. I think a blessing is there's only 3 more road courses, so 3 more wins for Danson, and 3 more horrible showings for me. Matt, you might do pretty decent, and Kuchinsky, I don't know. I was impressed. You seemed like you were doing pretty decent there before the spin, at least. You weren't in my like 34th to 38th in front of me. So
yeah, I think Watkins Glen is going to be more of a challenge for Danson than anything else, to be honest with you. I think we have 3 or 4 more people can give Danson a run for their money at Watkins Glen, to be honest with you.
You agree with
Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm not a fan of Watkins at all. I don't know why. I think it's because it's like, if we're doing the cup layout, which I assume we are, it's less road coursey. I don't know. It's just it's kind of not basic, but it's just I don't know. I never really find I find myself back in the field a little bit there. Like I'll be around sort of the 5th to 10th mark. So I wouldn't be surprised to see me struggle there. But I think Road America's next.
Yeah,
I think
that's got to be a win, right?
I hopefully should win that by about a lap, I would say.
Okay. Wow, that's one of Matt and I's home tracks. So
really,
yeah. Well, it's about 2 hours north of us. So where I'm going. So that's fun. So, good to know that you'll be murdering us there as well. But the good thing about that track is it's so big that you may only lap me like twice, which
that's true.
A blessing. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that really long lap, so you see me the least amount of time as possible. And I think there's a lot of long straights there too, so I can really just pull off. It's gonna be a little harder to get up on top of hills and through sand traps, but I'm sure I could do that for you if that's really necessary. So
there's a will, there's a way.
Well, I could find every gravel trap, and I could find every wall on every road course. So
I was gonna say I will get a wall at Sonoma. I don't even know how that happened. You did it in the first.
I'll just tell you right now, I am gonna wheel hop or go off the track by turn 5. I will tell on the first lap that will happen, as much as I don't want it to. Maybe the crew could have a camera on me for when it happens, because it's going to be some good TV time. So that's it. We're done with road courses for at least. Well, hopefully we're done with it for a few weeks. We'll talk about hopefully not next week, shortly. But Mike, let's get to know you. Do we have anything else to do about the race, or can we get to know Mike a little bit?
No, let's get to it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Mike. So I guess I'm curious. I feel like I remember your name from last year. So how long have you been on the iRacing service? How long have you been in RSR? And how did you get to RSR?
Well, let's see here. Starting from the top, I've been in iRacing since 2006, actually.
Oh my gosh.
As far as how I found RSR is, I was like, hey, I was just looking for like a league to run on Monday nights, and then someone just recommended RSR, and I joined, and bada bing, bada boom. And
Okay,
then
so
I know.
How long have you been in RSR for?
I think this is my second year. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't remember where you were in the points last year.
So I know you've kind of struggled this year a little bit. I don't know what your expectations are in and out for each race, right? I think Nick and I, you race official races all week, or maybe you race a few or whatever, but you have to reset expectations with this group. Obviously, we're racing around some of the best. So I know our expectations are pretty low. I guess, how do you, each time you go to a race, what's your expectation or hope?
So last year I was at least 15th or 16th in points, and then I guess the cutoff because I missed one race. This year is totally different, especially new aero package. It's definitely being a learning curve going forward. I know with the new car that's rumored to come. I don't know if it's going to be official for our league yet. I know Danson doesn't like it. But
he doesn't like many things, Kuchinsky. That's what we've learned. Yeah. He likes some road courses, and I think he generally handles Matt and I, but that's pretty much it.
He sure as hell doesn't like Daytona, but I can't choose him for that one.
Yeah. He hates Talladega. I'll just tell you that.
But what I'm my things for this year is just to learn the aero package and just try to finish races next year. Hopefully it'll be a lot better, and iRacing has evolved between now and then, and hopefully the race will be a lot better for me.
So I will say I looked through your results, and I saw a second place finish last year at Talladega, where Kyle Trudell kind of parted the seas for you. What's your feeling when that happens? Because I don't know, I think, Nick, we probably somehow snuck it into every episode that Nick won the Clash, and I finished third. Those felt like
everybody was like, "Who did this? Who is this guy?" Nobody gave a shit.
So
they still win.
The emotions were very high when that happened because the expectations were maybe a little bit lower. So I guess what were your reactions after getting that second place finish last year?
Well, a couple weeks before, I was actually in talks with Kyle to join my team at that time. And basically, we've been going back and forth, talking. And once we made the announcement for it, it's like we started working with him. I know he was up there in points, so I did everything I can, just to help him out. If it means staying on track for an extra lap and keeping the field lap down, I would have done that in a heartbeat.
Interesting. So, are you a single car team, Michael?
No, I do have 200 drivers. I do have Kyle Trudell and Mario Szlazinski. I did have during the Winter Series. I did have John Eltenberg, but he wanted to focus on the Road to Pro this year. So right now I got 3. I'm hoping to have another fourth person, but I know the limit is 4 for teams wise.
So how does that happen? How do you become kind of a team owner, and then how do you recruit drivers? How do you start reaching? How does any of this start?
Well, to be honest, I don't even know where it starts. everyone, you start at the bottom. I started running the league, and then my buddies were just watching. It says, how do you join and everything? Danson, I know chat's getting a little too excited for you, so
where is this chat? Where is this? Why am I not able to see the chat that everyone else is seeing?
I'll get it to you, Nick.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you go to aftertheturns.com on your mobile device, you can live watch us, and the chat will be in there as well. But yes, it is appreciating the amount of comments in there, and it's certainly entertaining for sure.
Well, I see Danson's got a sponsor in the chat, so courtesy here. But as far as adding more drivers, it's more of like a friendship type style. I paid their way to join in the series this year and the winter series. I also sponsored a couple of events last year for the winter series. I did try to reach out to Evan as far as the ownership this year, but he says some seats had it all tied up. So I kind of doing stuff on my own behind the scenes, something to where the ownership is more, the drivers want to do something for the ownership besides the drivers championship.
Well,
so,
I'm curious. I don't know. I'm afraid to see it, but should we pull up the owner's name?
Yeah, I've actually, I produce our things every week, so I've got the chat up here on the side, which probably means
I can't see the origins of the chat, but I would love to see. I would love to know what was being said.
You don't want to see what's been said.
And that's not
good.
You'll see it. Are you sure?
Were they saying how funny I was? They obviously were saying how funny I was, right?
No, just questions about the fridge and the microwave and stuff. I don't think anything crazy.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, so when we do look at the owner's points, just do keep in mind that, Mike, if you don't know, the battle for 8th is extremely intense. I wanted to stay out on track during my embarrassing run to try and gain a couple of those positions because we knew he was going to win. And it's always 2 Maras versus 1 Danson. I feel like you pulled ahead this week.
He did. First, can you answer? This has been asked, I think, 3 times now. What's on the top shelf behind you? On top of the microwave, and I think on top of the cabinets.
I got. You know what? I got. For those that don't know, I live in the city of Chicago, and I just got an AC unit that I put right here. So it's been. So I actually was sweating yesterday. I probably did burn 1,000 calories through my 20 laps because it was like 85 in here. So there's just some candles up there, some basic bitch candles. I think that's like fresh laundry up there. Some kind rotting bananas, and a couple of pill bottles. So it's a wild time. That's those pills may have been why it was a little bit of a rough go yesterday. So to be determined. That's my excuse. It wasn't the fridge. It's nothing. Like I think I said earlier, there's no alcohol in there. Yeah. So I'm a lame ass bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice comment, Sam. Back from Bed Bath and Beyond. Beautiful.
That is a Yankee candle, or it's a generic Walmart brand candle from the WM collection. I don't know. I think it just smelled like cardboard box when I opened it. So it's nothing. I assure you, there's nothing really interesting in here. I'm not gonna if you saw the setup, which I think Sam was on the episode where I showed.
Yeah, we looked at it.
Yeah. So still working on that, but yeah, I no more questions on that. Maybe next week I'll get some stuff and we can go through we could do like a cribs episode or something. So
there we go.
What is that something said?
I would love to see Evan's crib. I know he posted some nice pics on something at some point. I see some pictures of his setup.
Nice. Yeah, it's true.
Well, I think we'll have
it's all for the fans. Oh, actually, I got one more fan submitted question. It's for Mike. A random person, I don't know who it is, but they want to know how you felt about being the sole reason Sam didn't make it through to the feature at Bristol Dirt. He said that
yes, we have to talk about that.
The anonymous fan submitted question said or suggested that you took Sam out in 2 separate occasions. Do you recall? And what do you say?
Oh, I don't recall any of it.
That's
Bristol Dirt was a nightmare for you.
That's
Mike.
like
You know,
a random fan who's not San Nieto seems to remember that quite well. It's just so crazy how he would remember that. So
I think I was
crazy.
using a keyboard back then. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That was 2 months ago. It's called Get Over It. So, to be fair, that was Mike. You did run into me a little bit too during the first feature race. But to be fair, I ran into lots of things during that 10-lap feature. Multiple cars, the wall. Man, you know what?
I think you parked it at some point in the final qualifier.
I parked it way more times. I've parked it out of fear than I ever thought was possible. I get I literally went into this year, and Matt and I don't have we shared this. This is laughable at this point. If you look at the points, we were like, yeah, maybe we might make the playoffs this year. LOL. If I win a race, I'll be like 27th in the points. So it's not been the year that I think we thought. So those things happen. And Bristol Dirt was one of those horrible days. So we could just stop going to road courses. If it was up to me, I think we just run 33 mile and a half next year and call it a day.
Well, I think part of the issue is the competition's gotten a lot better. And I had forgotten I had this slide, so I'll go back to it. We talked about doing it last week. I think this is kind of a natural transition is what's happened since I've joined, because this is a 1-year anniversary.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, I totally forgot about this. So I went through and I looked at kind of who left and who didn't, right? Wow. And so the video here is from the first race I did, seeing the broadcast with Evan on it. And Evan is actually talking about me at this point. Seeing this, for a couple weeks before this, to being in it is kind of surreal, right? I think I just had my son. He's like 2 months old. I think he's sleeping on a layout couch, like literally right next to this camera here. And I put a lot of practice in for the race, and I finished 12th. I was, kind of crapping my pants the whole time. It was pretty amazing. But the expectation was I had top 10s the last 2 races of the year. I was, I think, 10th and 7th at Phoenix. And my points wise in the 17 races I did would have averaged to between 16th and 18th in points. So yeah, based on last year, I thought it was reasonable. And Nick, you tend to pick these things up pretty quickly. So I don't think that was an unreasonable expectation, but what Evan's done over the last year or so in bringing in talent is the issue, because I think the league's a lot stronger than it was last year. You look who's left. With only three chase drivers from last year, are no longer with us. That were there last year when I started. But you look at who's joined, and I mean, there's several wins in there, right, already. 6 chase drivers, and quite a few others that are very, very fast week in and week out. I think, 6 there that, again, are in the playoffs currently. And then I think a couple others that are in our power rankings top 10. And then obviously Nick Mara there. So, the competition is stern, much more difficult than I think we imagine, but it's part of what Evan's doing to make the league one of the premier leagues in iRacing.
Why is Danson yellow and I'm not?
Danson's currently in the playoffs. So the yellow names are currently in the playoffs. For those who are out, those are drivers who made the playoffs last year that are not racing with us this year.
Wow. Well, that's unfortunate for us, but good for the league.
I think
why am I not last year?
Why are you not? Dude, I'm excited to see Matt's power rankings later because
I think it was my current point standings, right? So you were 8th last week, right? So I think that's why there's 4 drivers out of you.
I can forgive that.
Okay. I'll forgive
No bias.
Can we look at the owner's point standings?
Yeah.
I need to see how bad it is. And I was doing some thinking, and I think it's just going to get worse for us this time.
It probably is. Yeah,
I'm going to miss a couple races. But let's what does it look like?
The 16 points now, unfortunately. The Xtreme Performance Motorsports owners standings.
Yeah. So Kuchinsky, you're in 4th.
There's a positive for you guys though. If you look at the second column in from the right, you guys are like triple my score.
We're talking about for incidents.
So I'm looking a few things that are just slightly different. Laps, we've completed almost 3 times as many laps. Incidents, we have almost 4 times as many incidents. Top 10s, we have 6 times less the top 10s. And wins, 2-0. I think that's pretty even, if you ask me.
That's close. That could swing pretty
close.
quickly.
That's close. Yeah, 4 top 5s. I really think if we're going by incident count, we're definitely in the lead. If we're going by average incident count, we're still well in the lead. This is not unattainable. This is not an unattainable goal for us to get back in the race here. So I'm thinking it's 1 or 2 Danson wrecks. If Matt's computer could just not crash, because you have to imagine his computer has crashed in like
3 of the last 4 races. I had no issues this week. I think I finally fixed the problem. I'm very excited about that. If there's anything to look forward to, so.
Yep.
Well, again, I do think.
But Nick, you said you're missing races, so that's a little concerning as far as the owner standings here.
I am missing 2 races later this year, and they're at Vegas, and they're it's music festivals in the fall. So,
how darn you have a life? Yes.
You going to Coachella or something? What? Are you going to like Coachella or something? What are you going to?
EDC Vegas will be in. I'll be destroying Evan's hometown for a weekend in October, and then I'm going to go to one similar in Ohio. So I'm going to live my best life. Not that RSR isn't like top of mind. You know, I might bring the setup. It's just a tray table and some pedals. I might just bring it to Vegas and play it from our hotel on Monday night.
You should.
I think that would be.
What are you doing on a Monday night in Vegas? I guess whatever you want, right?
No, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just ask Evan if I can go to his place and play on his.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'd be an in-race reporter.
Yeah.
I'll be hungover as shit, barely able to see, but I'll give him all the analysis he wants. I won't shut up for 2 hours if he wants that. We should propose that to him next week. I wonder, what do you think he'd actually say? He'd probably say.
Put him on the spot on air, so he has to say yes. That sounds like a really.
Let's hope he's not listening.
I think he'd have a very diplomatic and nice response.
Yeah,
but dismissive at the same time.
Fear on the inside, no emotion on the outside. Yeah, I think that's exactly how
into consideration.
Yeah, he'll take it into consideration, but really, like, who's this freaking guy? Anyway, but you know what I will say, if it is coming down to the wire and 8th place is getting really intense for the owners battle, I'm gonna do what I need to do. So Evan might not have a choice. If we're within about 20 to 30 points of Danson, I think we may have to go for it. So to be determined on that. We'll see what happens.
If we're within 20 or 30 points, my season's over.
Yeah. Well, what if I improve? You haven't thought.
No, I mean, Danson, you can miss races at this point. You've won 2 races. You're pretty much locked in. Yeah, so, you know, if they're regular season points you're losing, you're fine, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, if you think if I improve slightly, that just increases, like, I become more midfield, like Stove and Steve become more end of the field. I'm not going to be around them as much, so my chances of wrecking have gone down. You never know what's going to happen. So
That's true. You won at iRacing Super Speedway, right?
I won the Clash. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, so you just got to replicate that.
Yeah.
Replicate that at the next Super Speedway and
possibly the All-Star race. Yeah.
I probably will win the All-Star race just because it means nothing. Yeah, that's probably exactly what I actually have a good feeling I'm going to somehow win it. That's just my.
We don't even know where it's at yet, so.
I got a pretty good idea of where it's going to be, and that's just not a road course.
So
the answer is basically like, you know what? I want it to be at a road course, so we want to win, and everyone else is like, no, we don't. We don't want it. And your opinion doesn't matter here. So
yeah, true.
So this is as good a time as any to talk about that. I guess Nick, you've kind of maybe voiced a little bit of opinion. Maybe Mike, what are your thoughts on kind of the options here for the All-Star race?
Oh boy, I don't know. I'm not a fan for all these tracks. To be honest with you, I think we should go to like Chicagoland. I seen in the chat someone said about Auto Club. You know, something that's maybe been off the schedule that's coming back. I think Auto Club. You know, we should use Auto Club somewhere in the event because I think next year will be the last 1.5 mile before it turns into a short track.
Well, that's nice. But Evan has picked 4 options on the screen. So Mike, I'm gonna strong arm you into picking one of these options. You're gonna have to pick one of them.
Well, how about Nashville Fairgrounds?
Oh, okay. In real life, I would say yes. Actually, no, I would say Chicago. The street course is like 5 miles from my apartment. So in real life, that needs to happen. But for me and Matt, I'm sure you probably agree on this because you told me to vote A via text earlier tonight while I was away. So I think we want to win or be respectable, or we just want to get wrecked on lap 2 and call it a night early in the big one. So I think that twin ring Motegi is the option out of ease. And also, I'm not going to be in town this weekend, so I'm not getting any practice. So it better be a super speedway. And that's my opinion. Matt, do you agree with that? Probably?
Yeah.
It's pretty self-serving. Yeah, it's self-serving. I'm not going to lie.
But I agree with you. I agree that that's probably the best of the ones that are presented there, because the Rockingham will be a shit show. Nashville, I haven't seen it, but that'll be a shit show. Chicago would be a shit show because the cars are just they're mostly undrivable because they're not done yet, and so the car can't handle being sideways at all. And so if you put any opposite lock in, it just like jackknives. And so we'd just be under caution the whole time. The field will get destroyed. There'll be like 6 cars left after 15 laps. So I think the in terms of keeping a competitive field going longer, Motegi's probably the best. But that'll probably, who knows, that'll be horrible as well, I'm sure. But
I love your positivity.
I mean, iRacing Super Speedway for the Clash, we had how many cars left? Like 6 undamaged cars at the end, right? I think we put on a good show, but
we put on a great show. Actually, let's do that. That sounds great. Let's do that again. Yeah. That would be fantastic. I think I did some research before, and someone on the Discord talking about the next gen car said next gen is broken and virtually impossible to save any looseness. And someone, Sam, being positive, said it's not that bad. It just takes a little skill. Said person said no, it's bad. That's you, Danson. That was you. So
no, it doesn't sound like me at all.
I know it's hard to believe, but that was you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
I think the All-Star race should have been using a different type of car besides stock car. I think maybe the Legends or maybe
can you blame Evan? This is the Cup Series still. We are racing in the Cup Series still, right? So I think there are other opportunities to race different cars. We did have the Winter Series with the Xfinity cars, and there is going to be a Truck Series later this year, probably on Wednesday nights, right? So there are other series to be ran. Not saying I wouldn't. I think Garrett had put the comment in for Jettas at South Boston. Like, oh, hell yeah, that sounds like some fun. But at the same time, being in charge of what's that?
I know what I'd like to do. I say we do the Chicago street course, make it like 5 laps. We take qualifying from Sonoma. We just flip the field. Good luck. See what happens. Go ahead. Shit show ensues. Dancing in the back. Yeah, I'm not going to make turn 1 in the front. And then everybody
fun.
Everybody just converges in the middle, and it's basically whatever good guy makes it out of all the carnage wins the race. I just think
What? Here's the main question. How many resets?
Well, I think if it's like a short 5 little lap thing, then I don't think we need to do resets. But what I would like to, what I would like, and I'm curious. I have no idea what the format is. For some of us, whatever we end up doing, there's probably 15 guys, and Danson, you're one of them. You're like, I don't care what we do because I'm good. But some of us aren't as good. So compared to you guys, I know, yeah, Your Highness. But I was thinking, I don't know if anyone's locked in, but if we do have like an open, I think that would be cool for some of us that aren't, that don't have a chance to win. Like, so I don't know. I don't exactly know. It's probably, I think everyone maybe is just in it, but man, it would be cool if like, the second half of the field, like all of us got to race in a little thing and one of us gets a chance. Like we have a chance to actually like win something. I think that would be kind of cool. I don't have no idea if that's even possible.
Like a consolation bracket, but the consolation is actually like the winner.
Well, it's just like the Open for the All-Star race.
Yeah,
we have an Open where like all the shitty guys run, and I don't know, some like 5 of us make it, or somebody gets a win. I think that would be fun for some of us that maybe don't have a chance. It's 4 days away or whatever, so I don't know how realistic that is, but maybe for like next year, something like that. Just for some of us that, again, that we're not going to win every week. We're going to get lapped well before we win anything. So that would be
every week we're participating, right? Give us an opportunity. Yeah. I mean,
we'll wreck each other. We'll wreck each other quite a bit in that.
I've got an idea. I've got a suggestion.
Okay.
So we do like two races. So we'd have to, like, everyone would have to do a little bit of calculations to make this work. Yeah. But first thing is we go into a session at the Roval in the normal Cup cars, and we do qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
And do we do a race as well? I'm thinking, okay, yeah, well, we could do the race, or maybe not do the race. That part I'm not sure about, but I'm thinking qualifying, and you just take that sheet you've got. Then we go to the oval, right? And we do qualifying again, and then the order has to start backwards, because I like the backwards idea.
I do like
and then there's like a calculation of points for positions gained versus your qualifying position, whatever. And those total points then give you like a final set number of people that then race at the Legends Oval.
So I do. One thing about the Roval that I don't like is I'm not going to practice. So selfishly, you could just rack up a 10 to 15 seconds off the pace time there for me. So it doesn't matter what I do on the oval, which will also be bad. So
so you don't. It's not the time. It's not the time. Like, so if you're 15 seconds off on the road course, it's not like you're 15 seconds off on the oval.
It's the 40th place qualifying or whatever. Yeah.
So pole gets 30 points, for example, and last gets 1 point, and then for each position that you gain during the race, you get 1 point, or whatever the case is. So then you get like an amalgamation of all the points, and that determines the top 20 or whatever.
Yeah, and
then go in to do the actual race on the Legends Oval, which would just be like chaotic.
Can you do a cup cars on the Legends Oval?
Yeah, of course.
Can you do? Oh my god, that'd be sick. I don't know.
How many cars are going to be there?
I think you'd be
flip side.
Time, right? You couldn't even be full throttle on that. It's very
no way. Like I don't think you'd ever get full throttle. The other side of the coin would be, and it's a free car, but we run the Pro 2 truck at like either Roval or the Oval itself or Chicago. If we have to run Chicago, do like a car that's kind of outrageous would be kind of fun.
I do agree with Danson, something that's free that everybody has. That way people can't say, I don't want to buy it because just for the league, that's why I said the Legends, because everybody has the Legends, and can't complain. Oh, everybody had it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to see what happens there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why next gen at Chicago street course would be difficult. You're buying 2 pieces of content if you haven't bought it already. But the Chicagoland option was multi-class, which I think is super interesting. Something that I've thought would be super cool with the Cup cars, the Xfinity cars, and the trucks all on the track at the same time. My thought process in voting for that option was there's going to be 3 winners. And if I can pick the class with the least amount of drivers in it, maybe I can win.
Cool. I do like that idea.
I'm going to go whatever class you go, Matt.
No, that's not fair to either of us.
No, not fair. No.
Yeah, because he would do it. He would do it out of spite, too. And he totally would.
And that's what's going to be hard is what if we all join as Cup cars or we all join as Xfinity cars? Like, I mean, I don't know how you manage that, but I love the idea. Maybe it's drawn out of a hat or something, or Evan does a randomizer or something. But I love the idea. I do love the idea. I suck at road course racing, though, evident by this weekend. So, we'll see.
Well, that's Danson's like, please, just put a road course in somehow.
The cars aren't changing, right? Like, so I think there are some great ideas, but I think Evan's done basically what NASCAR's done and has said, hey, fans, what do you want? Here's 4 really here's 4 good options. Okay, right? So maybe you guys have some really good options you guys think that are awesome. Evan's given us 4 good options, right? I think I think those tracks are interesting. I think we'll have some fun, right? Regardless what the choice is. And it's going to be one of those 4. Now, the format things I think are up in the air, right? And so I had reached out to Evan hoping to get an inside scoop before this. If there were any, different formats.
He scrolls all day. All he does all day is he gets in everybody's DMs to get inside scoop for the podcast.
I was gonna message Evan. I was gonna say, if you're gonna distribute the poll today, hold on to it. We'll release it on the show.
Nice.
Not that big yet.
Yeah, we're not that big yet. We'll talk to Evan next week. But
wow.
So well, but I did ask him about rules and format, right? So maybe we'll hear more about that. I do think, especially if we're doing a road course, a stage break in the middle or something to make things a little more interesting. We don't need another dance and run away at a road course, right?
If we do a road course, you should start letting. And did we not have a thing last year? Did the series not have a thing where you could start in the back? Maybe it wasn't this series, something else that I watched. And you get if you made it to the front, you won. You got 5. That was this series. That was RSR, right? Didn't they have something like that?
It might have been RSR, it might have been Sim 500. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, it was basically you got a bonus for starting last and then winning. You got a monetary bonus.
Would you do that for us, Danson?
Yeah,
I'm off the track in the first turn, so I'm not even a hazard to you.
Yeah, no, I'll just move you anyway. But if we can do next gen at the Charlotte Legends Oval, that is the perfect combo.
We've heard
41 cars. Literally, you if you're in last, you'd start the race 2 laps down.
We were looking at the list here. Let me go back to the list.
I love the 2 laps. That's perfect. I'm fine with it.
I'm gonna go back to the list. I think we said all of these are going to be shit shows, and now you're recommending the biggest shit show of all.
Well, yeah, because if it's going to be a shit show, we might as well go head first into it. Just really embrace it.
Yeah, figure 8.
Okay, the All-Star race in real life, my personal opinion is the All-Star race.
Figure 8.
Yeah, the All-Star race is a joke in real life, so we don't know why. So if we're gonna have to do if we're gonna do it here too, we got to make it. It needs to be a shit show, or why are we even doing the event? So whatever's going to cause the most carnage, we should do.
We should do the figure 8 track.
Is there a figure 8 track in iRacing?
Yes. Track.
Yes.
They really thought of it all. They really thought of it all.
Evan broadcasting that race is going to be like Mike Joy broadcasting the Pro Invitational events. It's going to be okay, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do think we should do it. I really, really think, and this is for Kuchinsky's sake, for Matt's sake, and for my sake, we have to have some sort of inverted field, because that's going to cause carnage, and it's going to mix it up, and it's going to get the fan or fans tuned in. And I think it's going to be good for us. Maconi Setup Shop needs some TV time. Logitech does not need any TV time, okay? And
Maconi's gonna leave us. Our deal's ending, right? So we had a 15 race deal. So I think what race are we at? 12 now?
I'm about to be sponsorless. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm kidding. I think they will re-up, but we'll talk.
Bed Bath & Beyond, they'll sponsor you.
Honestly, with that candle, yeah. I'm taking all requests. So if anybody knows any, maybe we should just go weird with the second half sponsorship. I don't know if you have any ideas. Please let me know. Part of me has thought I just want to do something totally different for the second half of the year, where they have to see it. You have to. It's like when I'm going up the hill in the first corner, there's no way. You're like, that car is Nick, and he is crashing somehow in turn 2, 10 seconds back.
We don't need a sponsor. We don't need a paying sponsor. But I will say, if any of our listeners are listening, $1 a race will get you whatever the hell you want on Nick's car. Not a lot to ask for, and they're probably going to show Nick or I each time they talk about after the turns. So there will likely be some TV time.
It's after the laps.
After the laps. So there will likely be some TV time. So not asking for a lot. Again, we're not trying to make any money. The goal is to pay for the entry fee, which I guess we don't really need help with. But hey, if you guys are willing to help, cool. Otherwise, we'll run whatever the hell we want, or we'll. Sam has said he will pay $1 for you to put a giant penis on your hood. I don't think we're going to go to that extent. We're going to keep this appropriate.
I don't need
that.
$1 to do that, I guess, but I will. No, it's gotta be kind of legit. It's just gotta be a little bit legit. That's not super legit, but just a little bit. I can't wait to see what happens in my DMs this week. I may get my first DM. This is really exciting. Sending positive vibes for myself. Okay, let's move on. Should we show what do we need to show? Standings. Did we look at the standings?
Oh, we didn't look at the standings.
Power rankings. Come on.
No. I think it's standings first. We have to look at the real standings. We looked at the unofficial owner standings.
So I don't think there's anything really huge of note here. There's a lot of battle around the playoff spot there. It's hard to see in this because we do have Daniel Eberhardt here in 28th place. I am only 3 points behind him. Would not have thought I'd be 29th in points if I would have said that at this point in the season last year. But Eberhardt is working on bigger things. We'll get to that probably at some point.
Is he?
Yeah. So we'll get to the road to pro stuff if we want to go to that next. Danson.
I thought it was something non-iRacing.
No. Nothing that crazy.
It was really interesting to me if you look at this. I don't know if you can zoom in right around 29th place, but the incidence on the first Mara Motorsports car, second highest in the league.
So
you hate to see that.
It's back to third. So and it would have
Steve's not on the list, is he?
It would have
Steve's lower on the list.
it would have possibly been first if it not for Rhett McBride there in 18th, and also Manansai Major, both with their 95Xs. They have at Coda. They have preceded me in those rankings. Part of it, two-part reason for that. I guess my explanation is one is the Bristol Dirt Race, where I don't know why, but everyone decided they needed to send it every single lap, 5 laps into a 125 lap feature, where I got 25X, had 2 minutes of required damage, and still finished 8th. So
some of us didn't really know even how to finish 8th. Yeah, you finished 8th. You got a top 10.
I started 5th on the grid.
That was an impressive run. Honestly,
I started 5th on the grid, and Garrett Hess takes me out in the back stretch of lap 1, and it was all downhill from there. But I did eventually work my way back up. I was in the battle for 6th there on the last lap. Yeah, I really like Bristol Dirt. I wish one of the options this week was Dirt because, and part of the reason I'm excited for any kind of truck series that we might have with RSR is that we might go on dirt because I love dirt racing. So, that race, as well as Dover, when my screen went black and I crashed 3 times, are big reasons why that number is so high. But I made a lot of mistakes this year, too. I can own that, too. So it certainly would be probably one of the higher in the league. Most of the times I've had incidents, like, for example, I had like a 6X at Charlotte 2 weeks ago because I wasn't racing in VR, and I clipped in the tri-oval. I clipped the grass, right? So it definitely hasn't been a good year in that sense. But I feel like I've only caused 1 or 2 cautions. So I don't think it's as bad as it looks.
No, you're doing good. And Mike, you've got 1 car in the playoffs, right?
2 possibly.
Yeah, I was going to say 1 close to the playoffs.
Yes.
Where are you on there?
I'm not on there.
I'm curious more than anything. I'm sorry, that came out nasty. That's not what I meant.
That's okay. I mean,
you back there with me?
By looking at the standings, all in all, it's from last year to this year, the racing has definitely changed. The competition has got better, and my points kept down. So,
I mean, look at this list here. I mean, we got Jeremy Miller in 20th. We got Grant Davis in 22nd. Liam's in 24th, right? Eric made the playoffs. I think he finished 8th last year in the standings, and he's 25th, right? So, Eberhardt in 28th. The field is stacked. right? This is like not even fair. Like we're, I look and I'm like disappointed with 29th because I thought, top 20 was possible. And you look at everyone who's ahead of you and you're like,
not passing them.
no, I'm not better than any of these people. So like David Washington, he's fast every week. He's in 21st. I know he's missed some races, but still, like there's a lot of good guys in this league. So you kind of have to reset expectations in that. I think you don't go into any race thinking I'm going to be 30th this week. But it's been weird. I know Nick and I, we've gone to a couple of these races. We're like, man, if we just finish in the, 29th or, in the top 30, that's a win, right? Which is just such a weird thing to say, but it's something we have to reset expectations for.
Danson, you're in.
Well, if you just message me, we could do some laps, but
I want to do, well, you're an oval expert. We're getting that VRS accent for after the turns prices. So I think he's charging us, Matt. I think he sent me a DM. He's charging us like a lap a minute or a minute a lap to get some training.
That's good. That would work out really good for me.
Is that for you? It would work out really well.
We'll just
we do need to take you up on that. We need to take him up on that. I don't know when you're on literally the other side of the pond. So it's I mean, I'll wake up at 3 a.m. to put some laps in Nashville because I'm just so #committed. But you just gotta let us know.
Well, just do like what Sam does, where he just messages me nonstop, like I do nothing except drive iRacing. Like he's just every message I get from him is asking to practice. So just do like that, and we should be sweet.
Yeah, like no reason to ask about your personal life.
He doesn't ask. Yeah, he doesn't ask how I'm going. Like how's life treating you?
How are you? How are you? How are you going, Danson? How are you going?
I'm all right. Yeah, can't complain. We're in lockdown.
Well, there are some things you can complain about, and we'll go to the Road to Pro standings here.
Oh, true.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, Danson. I wanted to bring this up though because of the talent that's here. You've had some bad luck. What's up?
Is this current right now?
This is current, yeah. So I actually did my research. I watched the race at Martinsville, at least the end. Evan was broadcasting, and he got to interview Drew, who finished second in the top split race. Pretty cool. They shouted out RSR. They forgot to shout out after the turns, but it's okay. We forgive them. Eberhardt's in right at 11, right? So the format here, and I don't know, Mike and Nick, if you're familiar, but the qualifying series is 8 races this year, and we're at race 7, so there's one left, and it works just like the regular standard iRacing points, but the top 70 advance to that Road to Pro Contender Series, which is going to be, I think, another 7 or 8 races starting in July.
7.
So
yep.
Yeah, so 70 is the cutoff line. Eberhardt is in. That's what I was talking about. Has more things top of mind right now, right? I think he's fine with winning a race and being 28th in points on RSR, for being 11th in Road to Pro. Dylan has had, in our league, he's had some issues. I know he quit out this week too, but he's pretty solidly in, as well as Agnell. Given that, I think, when you look at that area of the points, they're getting, like 150 points per race-ish with the amount of points that they've gathered. So they're probably pretty safely in. Drew was 125th before his second place finish last week. So he's making things interesting. I think we're hoping he can represent us in the Contender Series, because I know he's been a staple here, and I know he's a really good guy. So fingers crossed for him. I think you look at the rest of this list. I put some other folks on here because you're looking at 2,000 drivers, right, that even have the balls to enter the Road to Pro qualifying series. To be top, this is top 10%. Nick Silver is top 5 or 6% here, right? Matt, even with your struggles, you're top 7.5, 8% of anyone who's even trying for this, right? So everybody on this list in the top 10% of the standings, right, which I think is super impressive, and it displays the talent we have in our league, right? Not just at the RSR standings, but the overall iRacing standings.
That's nice.
Just by looking at that, in the standings, I don't even see Andrew on that.
So Drew has 2 accounts. in iRacing, so I missed him the first couple times I went through those standings. He has a Drew Farinage account, so I went through that. And so we had spoken a little bit in the off season about maybe doing some sort of partnership when maybe Nick and I had thought we had a little more time to do some learning, and now we can lean on Danson, right? But he had mentioned that he was fully committed to Road to Pro, and so when I looked at the standings last week and I didn't see him on there, I was like, this guy told us he was fully committed to Road to Pro. And I'm kind of surprised to even see he's at 73. I think equally surprised, obviously, with UMAP at 159 there. Yeah. And I do know if we were to ask you about that, I saw quite a few of your similar looking trucks out there running up front last week at Martinsville. So do you want to talk about Road to Pro last week? Because it was I did catch your car at some point and it was pretty damaged.
Oh yeah, I mean, so Martinsville is not a good track for me, so I wasn't really too surprised about that week. But as far as the season, 59 does seem a little high. Sorry, just looking at Sam's comment. I think that math might be off slightly though, because I'm pretty sure it's less than that. I could be wrong, but it's a little bit of a scam in terms of like, you know, you pointed out the fact that Drew's even where he is. Basically, like, my gripe at the moment is that, you know, for Andrew and myself, you know, we're in top split, yeah, and that's the one that, you know, Evan commentates on, or whatever, and it's really cool to be there because obviously you're racing against, you know, the best. But the problem is there's not really a major benefit for you being against the best. So, you know, you can run in fifth split at the, you know, beginning of the season, and some people sort of drop off, and so that sort of the splits tighten up as the season gets to an end. But, you know, you can start off in like fifth, sixth, even seventh split, and rack off some points with you know, weaker fields, and you're not really like, you know, if you win, for example, sixth split, that's equivalent to like a P10 in top split. Competition wise, there's no way it's the same thing as P10 in top split, because to get through the field in top, you know, it's super hard. Imagine racing 34 other, you know, Andrews. You know what I mean? Like, it's
33rd in split 1 should get more points than P1 in split 2, right? I mean, based on logic there, right? That's not the argument, right? Maybe that's a little extreme, right? But then maybe the championship points aren't that even.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if anything, like, because so for round 2 they're doing snake splits. That probably makes more sense for round 1 than it does for round 2. You know, like, so for example, you know, basically the point of that would be that the field's made up of, you know, like it filters all the people through. So you know, the number 1 iRating person is in split 1, then number 2 iRating person is in split 2, and so on. It keeps going then, and then once you get to 35, and then it goes back to split 1 and just keeps filling them all in, so that you've got a nice even spread of like iRating and sort of strength drivers. So that would even it out more and make it more reasonable, because at the moment, you know, like, it's for me, my biggest issue is the same actually issue I've had in RSR, is just qualifying poorly. You know, I've had a bunch of races with really good you know, race pace and that sort of thing, and I think I've had 1 top 10, but like, you know, Atlanta I blew up from the top 5, and then just the other races I just always qualify around that 18th to 20 sort of second mark, and then it's just impossible to move through the field, really, at least for me anyway. Even though your race pace is good, it's just, yeah.
I think it's obviously a higher, you know, you're dealing with like 30 Matt Dansons, but I mean, I don't know about you, Mike, but for us being in the mid to back pack at some of these places, it is really hard to kind of go through the field, even if you have a good car. I don't know, like you would say that probably the case too, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like, so for me, like, when I switched wheels in the middle of last year, Sonoma, actually, my G25 force feedback basically reset in the middle of the race. So I was driving with the wheel over to the 90 degrees just to go straight. And then I ended up getting a Fanatec CSW, and I'm like, I've been trying to reach out to try to get better wheel settings to try to feel more comfortable with the car, and then I just been little by little like, yeah, can I run up front? Probably at super speedways, but other than that, I'm probably gonna be mid pack. And you know what? It's just that every little bit of racing every week, learning the driving style, watching other people run, you can learn a little bit more, and then you can get better.
Yeah, I think I would like to try Road to Pro. Can we not try till next year now? Is that not?
Yeah, it's over now. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could race next week. I mean, you might get some points. You might not mean anything.
You could race
right?
Dover. So Dover is next Thursday night for you guys. But yeah, it's
going to be hard without getting the I rating up a little bit more, right? Because then you're not going to get in the top splits. You won't have the chance to get the most amount of championship points and all that, right? So that doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
I think for me, I think I might just run with my alt next year. Start it off in the mid splits and just get some consistent points, and then easy peasy. Yeah. Through we go.
Get another.
The downside of that. The downside of that is that you get then into round 2, and then all of a sudden, you've only been racing, sort of not at full, potential or full, cutthroat sort of competition. And
that's why you have
these guys, and well,
that's why you race us. Yeah, we're your warm up for Road to Pro, obviously. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
getting through those lap cars. Really important.
Yeah. So you have an alt account. So you're paying for the content on 2 accounts, or is that just an idea?
Oh
no, yeah, I've got an alt that I usually use if I race with my friend who is sort of new to iRacing. So I'll race with him, and that way we could be in the same split and that sort of thing.
Love to see the winners on that account.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Is it like 100%?
No, it was for a little while, then I started getting wrecked by people for fun. But that one's doing pretty okay. But I would probably, I think I would just get that to like a 5K and then just start the season, and that might be the play. Unless they decide to make it snake splits. If they make it snake splits for next year, then completely different story. But
what's your alt name?
Matthew.
Oh, that's it.
Original.
Matthew.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be some like crazy. Yeah, I thought it was going to be some like crazy. Nobody knew the name, and I'm like, oh, that guy's been kicking my ass in like second and third.
You got to keep it professional.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
You got to keep it professional for sure.
Well, I guess question on that. So, I mean, I guess I had thought about it on time. You're streaming, right? Have you thought? I always thought it would be cool if a streamer in iRacing would have like their in-car, obviously they're broadcasting from, but also a second shot. If you have an alt account and a second computer, you can stream a second screen where it's like a spotter, right? Have you thought about adding that to your stream?
Yeah, I did think about that, but I mean, you've got to have then the cost outlay of a second PC and all that sort of mucking about. So I did sort of mess with that idea for a little while, but I don't know how keen I am on doing that. By the way, the win percentage on that account right now?
Take a guess. 64%.
You're looking at it, aren't you?
I am not. I am too lazy to look up stats, Danson. I'm not looking it up right now.
It's
am I right?
65.6 on oval and 100% on road. 87.5% top fives.
Wow. That's annihilating. It's funny. I thought you said you're an oval guy. Yeah, your road course winning percentage is 100%.
Yeah, but I mean that's
Matthew Danson. That's not Matt Danson. That's
right. Matthew Danson's a road course ace. Matt Danson's an oval ace. Okay.
Exactly. We got Matt. Yes. We got Matt today. Yeah.
Gotcha. Obviously different people. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Wow. I would love that. I think my winning percentage, I think it's like 4.5% or something. So just 60% off. That's it. I would say that makes sense overall. So
I can't see myself starting another account and starting over.
Sounds like it could be fun if you've got the talent, right? I've thought about what do street stocks look like these days. I feel like a bunch of easy wins. I would like to think
it's It's just like RSR without the cautions. So imagine there's the same level of carnage, but just no caution to stop it. So it just keeps going. It's actually just like you're in the they should just name it Mara Motorsports Academy. Or something. I don't know.
The Mara Motorsports.
Well, we've been looking at sponsoring something, so it sounds like we found our opportunity there.
I was gonna say, I really, if you take Sonoma out of it, where I only spun out like 10 to 15 times on my own, it's more Matt than Mara Motorsports.
It is. Actually, Nick, you've been good this year. I
get wrecked by people. I get wrecked by everyone. But I mean, as a whole, we're, if iRacing kept track of damaged cars, I think Mara Motorsports would be out of business at this point, just based off of carnage alone for both cars. So yeah,
too many virtual pixels torn up.
So
exactly.
I wonder if he's still here. So Spider Jazzer has he's been in the comments. He's just, it's a friend of mine. He's just started in iRacing probably about a year ago now. Actually, it's been a bit of time. Probably about the same as you. So he, I feel like you guys would be on a similar level, Nick. So
me and this guy
yeah.
Then why isn't he in RSR?
That's what I'm thinking. We should get him in so that he can, have a bit of a race with you guys. He can represent the Matt Danson Driver Academy, and then we'll have
Can I be a part of the Matt Danson Driver Academy?
We've got very
compliment you enough times. I compliment. What'd you say?
We've got very strict requirements for the team.
What's the requirement? Just get out of the way when I'm lapped, and
I'm just
pretty much exactly. Just always you are on the right track with the compliments. That does help. That's probably 80% of the criteria.
Suck ups.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. That's literally, Mike. If you've watched, I think we've been anything but a suck up to most of the people in this league. Quite frankly, the positive comments were kind of a shock because I feel like most people have been thrown under the bus at this point. So one time or another. So we appreciate that. But good to know. Danson, how about this? When I get a top 10, I get 3 free hours of Matt Danson Driver Academy.
3 free hours. Oh, I guess you said top 10, right?
Yeah, I said yeah. I was going to say that was a lot of confidence. I was like, that was a lot of confidence.
I was like, Nick's done 21 races and he has no top 10. Soon enough, right? Soon enough. But you are the highest ranked in the point standings to not have a top 10.
I saw that, and I didn't want to look at it. That sounds like a deal to me. All right, I do. Yeah, get this guy in. Put him on the wait list because I wanna see if it's worth even, if your advice is even worth my time. Because the last I checked, we've got the same amount of oval wins. So, in RSR this year.
You and I. Oh,
we have the same amount of RSR oval wins. Actually, I have 1. You have 0. So maybe you need
to Hang on a second.
I have counting. I won the Clash. You have 0 wins. You've only won 2 road courses.
So that's an unofficial Cup Series win. So if we're talking unofficial wins.
Okay,
I'm talking about when you go to the RSR site and you look at the race winners, I see my name on oval, and I don't see your name on any ovals. So if you want, I can. You know what?
Michigan.
No. In the RSR Cup Series season, I have 1 oval win. You have 0 oval wins. So if you need to, Danson, if you need some time, I think I can squeeze a couple hours in to give you some oval track tips.
Okay, how many polls do you have? How many in the?
I have 1 poll. I actually have 1. I have 1 poll. I have 1 oval poll. So if you need whether it's 1 lap or whether it's a full fuel run, I've got you covered. So I'll set some time aside. I'll send you a calendar invite, and then you just choose whatever oval it is. I know I could show you some tips on any oval that you need. So
we'll see.
You hate to see that. So well, I think we should go to the power rankings because I'm a little concerned. Did anybody fill the power rankings out, or was it just Matt?
If they did, they didn't do it past 3 hours ago, and I just kind of put it together. So this will be a surprise to everyone. So, go in the studio mode.
Now I'm afraid Danson's going to be first because I think we said
You said it, Nick. Yeah, you made the comment last week. You said if Danson wins, it's going to be 2 of the last 3. I think he has to be first.
Kuchinsky's cat really wants to know who's in the top 10. Yeah. What's the cat's name? Danson has a cat as well, and I don't remember the name of it.
Really?
My cat's name is Theodore.
Theodore. Your name, it's like Mittens or something, right?
Moo.
Okay,
Moo.
that's actually closer than I thought. Moo like a cow. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was okay. And you said yours was
He is right now.
he only made one. I don't even know if he made an appearance on the podcast. It may have been off air. So next time, because Kuchinsky's cat is he's into it right now. So
Yes.
there we go.
I feel like I'm missing it. I don't see the cat there.
What?
See,
Oh,
There he is. Okay.
cool cutie.
Hey, Theodore.
All right, for the reveal.
Okay. Here we go. Whoops. Okay. Starting at 10.
Wait. In the chat, chat says that's a really nice pussy. There, Mike.
With dollar signs. Yes.
It did look like a sweetie. Who's Spider Jazza? Do we know who that is? I know we know who that is.
Just a fan, I guess.
Just a big fan. Just a big fan. I appreciate the commentary. It's been very entertaining. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Spider Jazza. Okay. So we'll go through the power rankings. Number 10. New entry to the list. Hasn't been on here before. Adam de Blasio. So 7th and 5th the last 2 weeks. 8th at Dover. So 3 top 10s in the last 4 races, Coda being the exception. Showing some speed. I think he's done like 10 races this year. He didn't have a top 10 until Dover, but he seems to be on some sort of a streak here. So yeah, good for him. Keep it up.
Cool.
And I wrecked his brother, so the least I could do is put him on here.
That's true. Do you think he forgives you?
Probably not. Okay. Next up, I've got Agnell Phillip, who I was surprised had not been on this list. I was like, did I forget him recently? But I guess he didn't race at Coda, and he finished 26th at Dover, so maybe that's why he wasn't on here previously. But 10th at Charlotte, 4th last week. He's got speed every week, right? So I don't think there's a lot of questions about that.
No.
Yeah.
Next up, dropping 4 spots to 8th, Nicholas Johnston. He didn't race, so you're going to lose some spots to people who race.
Oh, Danson, that's why you won. He didn't come and show up this week and knew something was
Yeah, I reckon that's probably why.
Yeah, I think that 24-second win might have been 12, right? So
Was it? I thought it was more than 24. Was it only 24?
Yeah, it was like 30. It was like over
it was
30.
like 30. Okay.
Yeah, I thought.
Okay,
Yeah, I thought
now-
it was
I remember it was 30 seconds because I was thinking with like 3 laps to go, like, if Danson pitted and got fresh tires, he probably still win the race. That's what I was
that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
just
That would be
even
so
like,
cool.
Yeah, I was thinking you should do it for the show's sake, but
I should have done that. That would have been awesome. Just even with like 5 laps to go, just give me enough time.
Well,
to
you
be
were one of
safe.
I'm
You
gonna
were
hop
the
on the
last
Discord
one
next
to
time and be like, hey, you got a 46-second lead. Why don't you pit and give us everything? Give these guys a
So when I did my pit stop and I came out, so I didn't pit for ages because I wanted to make sure that I led every single lap. And when I came out, I sort of got through the first couple of corners, and I on lap 2 after coming out of the pits, I thought to myself, hey, this would be a good time to set like a fastest lap of the race just to make sure. And so then I tried to go for it that sort of second 2/3 of the lap, and my lap was what was it? It was like 3.8 seconds quicker than P2.
Oh my god.
Now, admittedly, to be fair, so Andrew was P2 at the time. He pit like 3 or 4 laps earlier than me, I think. So obviously there was a bit of a disparity. But just I thought at the time, oh, surely Evan and that will see like something come up and say, fastest lap of the race. I don't know, something.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I got no mention. Nothing talking about being almost 4 seconds.
They were
faster.
probably showing the intense battle for 23rd as you were lapping us.
Yeah, they were.
And it's funny. I realized you were fast when I think I saw you were like 15 seconds behind me, and I was like, I got like 2 laps before he catches me. And it was like a lap, and I was like, oh my god, he's 2 seconds behind already? How did that happen? How did this happen so fast? So yes, you were fast. Evan could only say how many times that you were fast. So
That's
good
true.
for you. good for being
also, one other
3.8
thing.
seconds faster than Andrew. That's a real that is actually a huge accomplishment. So congratulations.
Thank you. Exactly. But also, one of my favorite moments of the race, which again, of course, wasn't caught on the broadcast because why would it be? But it was fun.
Yeah.
So I was lapping one car, like going into the final hairpin.
Yes.
And I came from pretty far back, and then I was like, I could see that there was a second lap car in front of him that I didn't really notice. And then I was like, well, I've got to make sure I really get in here. Like once it sort of started, it was all happening all at once. But I was like, I got to make sure I get really deep in here. Otherwise, I might just end up wiping out these guys. And sure enough, I passed 2 cars in the one braking zone, and it was very sexy. The second guy, the one in front, did not see it coming at all.
If it was me, I remember in turn 11, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go up to the wall and I'm just gonna ride until you pass me.
Yeah, I saw you.
You see me? I was just like, fuck, no, not today. I know what I'm not doing, and that's turning right until he's by me. that's what I'm doing. That was a fear moment. So you act like that's a big deal, but a lot of us were just afraid of you. So 2 cars are not a huge deal, but okay. Anyway.
Well, it felt fun.
I'll probably give you at least 2 spots in the power rankings with that power move. So
yes,
we'll see. We'll see. Power rankings. We'll go to 7 here. Sam Nieto, another good run. Thanks to all the help he gave me again on Monday. Didn't really help me out in the end because I had that incident, but still got you 1 spot here by default because Nicholas didn't show up. And you.
So did you try and wreck 8th place so you could give Sam 8th place? Is that what you were thinking, Matt, when you wrecked de Blasio and got into the 8th place car? Was it so you could give Nieto an extra spot for all the help he gave you?
Oh. No. I wrecked Eric de Blasio.
I know, but also 8th place got damaged too, and he was laboring at the end. But he finished 8th.
That was Mike's
in that accident. I did not realize.
That was Mike's teammate. Mike did.
Was that Trudeau?
Yep.
Yeah.
Trudeau.
I totally didn't realize that. I feel like a jackass now. No, sorry, Kyle.
Did Kyle say
Mike,
about
Trudeau, do we have a message? Do we have a message for Matt from him as well?
No, nothing was said.
I think there was a comment made after that, but I thought he got passed.
No, he didn't get passed. He didn't get passed.
He said that he'd experienced everything in that race, and that's his home race. He was saying, so you ruined his home race.
I don't think
he did say that he
was running on his own.
But how do you know he might have been about to pass the people in front of him? Maybe he had, and then he got that damage and he wasn't able to get them. So he might have been on for like a P4, P3. He might have won, and he just managed everything.
Well, he wasn't going to win, so maybe let's not milk that. He was also he was 50 seconds behind you when that happened. He had a solid.
He got to P2. He's such a good guy. If he got to P2, I would have just parked it. Well, I would have said, you know what, Carl, you can have this one. It's fine.
Okay. Well, real life hypothetical. Since you win every week. If Matt and I one of us are close to the front. It's not a road course because that will never happen. This is an oval where I am, where I excel and you don't.
So how is
we're on the oval. Yeah, we're on the oval. Do you help us would you park for us or help us win, knowing that we may mention you in the winner's interview?
I would slow down and wait and give the illusion that I'm giving you the position, only to deny you just right at the last moment.
You're too competitive at heart. You would never let that happen.
I'm really looking forward to the day where we're battling for it's 13th, let's just say. I'm having a good day, you're having an off day. It's going to be one of the greatest things. Hey, Matt, you know what replay we're going to show? Every lap we go side by side. And when I pass it, that needs to be on replay. That's the whole show. One pass, no comment, no words. We've
got a new background for the show. It'll just be that video replay. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. That'll be definitely my phone wallpaper. We'll have to have a banner of that made, and it'll be past Danson for 13th place.
I mean, I'm surprised we don't have the background of now being a loop of you winning at the Clash. It just should be permanent as part of the broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. One of the most iconic moments of our history. Sorry, let's go through the rest.
Number 6. Not this hypothetical. It's never going to happen.
So when it does happen, because that's Thomas George confidence. When it happens, I'm gonna be like, this is actually happening. I'm gonna tell
we need Danson to join the iRock races.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. This is like a Hamilton Verstappen battle that you wait for it, and you never know if it's gonna happen, and then it does happen, and that needs to be caught on camera. So just keep it in mind.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
That's my motivation. I'm only gonna practice.
Brandon Bowie.
Yeah, Brandon at 6. He finished 6th. He actually had spun out early in the race, and he was back by me in about like 18th, 19th place. He must have made up a lot of time after that. So I think that was an impressive run and rebound by him. So
Brandon Bowie fans, we stand for Brandon Bowie. And he said he wasn't going to be that great.
And
he lost the top 5 on the last lap. But
when I say I'm not going to be that great, I finished 35th. So, yeah.
Good for Brandon. Who's in 5th?
5th is Kyle Trudell. It sounds like maybe he could have been higher up if I didn't mess up.
Yeah.
So,
lap car wrecked him, yeah.
It wasn't actually you. It was Joe that got in front of the 44.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, Mike, for clearing that up. I know I wrecked some position, but I thought it was for 25th. I didn't think I impacted the leaders, so that makes me feel a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And if that's incorrect, I don't want to hear it. So,
well, that's good. He's been doing some good stuff. There's Lariah in 4th. Is that what that says?
Oh, yeah. Another
yeah, I mean, another top 10. This guy's ridiculous. I mean, at least the last 5 years he's finished top 10. I think the streak is at least 6 or 7 now. He's definitely not -4, so sorry for not updating the graphic correctly. The -1 from 3rd place last week, and that's because someone obviously bumped him, right? So, yeah, who is next? Am I gone?
I'm still here.
I'm dancing. I was like, I'm here. You can hear me, right, guys? Okay.
Was I gone? I think maybe I was gone. I don't know.
Maybe we're gone for a second. We're all here.
You're good.
There's no cliffhanger. Well, there's a cliffhanger. We're holding it now at the top 3, which are all very, very close. So
Matt Danson's what, number 2 on that list?
No, he's at number 3.
3? How did he go down?
Wow.
No, Danson was
went
6th
down
after
from
last week. Danson was 6th last week. What are you talking about? Danson.
Oh my God, that's right. That's right. He went from 2nd to 6th. I don't agree.
I mean, he was 31st.
What do you? I think he's What did he say? What did he say? I missed it.
He said power rankings are meaningless. I mean, 2 of the last 3 races are 39.
These power rankings are meaningless. You win 2 of the last 3 races. You win 2 out of the last 3 races, and this pains me to say, but he goes to 1st.
I think you look at the other results and you say no. I think you're challenged if you look at the last results, right? So we'll just go to the top 2 here.
How many wins do I need to get to number 1?
Well, okay. So
to get to number 1, I think, is that right?
Okay, so Cody Harris in 2nd, 7th, 7th, 2nd, 5th, and 2nd. The last 5 races. Yeah,
he's got no wins. Yeah, you got to get it.
Well, what do we have in the playoffs, Matt Danson? We don't. We have 1 road course.
Charlotte Roval. That's all I'm saying.
So, certainly everyone's vote is counted here equally. When I'm the only one who fills it out, it's 100% Matt Maher on the power ranking. So if you want your voice heard, you have a vote. You don't have to.
I like it how it is. It's good.
I missed. My internet has gone out like twice, I think is what it was. So Matt, you left a couple of times. So yeah, I like the Matt Maher power ranking, so we can just talk shit about it.
Yeah, I agree. It makes it more enjoyable for us to shit on your decisions.
Yeah. So who we have Freenos first.
Yeah, I mean, I still look at it, even though he had 3 wins in 4 races or 4 wins in 5 races, and then the last 3 or 7th, 2nd.
What's his last 3?
7th, 2nd, and 3rd.
It's horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And you've got a 39th and a 31st dabbled in there. I just
first, unknown, and first.
Unknown. Unknown. I think it is very known that you finished 31st last week. The week previous.
Jesus. Holy hell.
Rage quit. You're not in the power rankings. That's what that means.
But to be fair,
that is a good point. Yeah.
Before I quit, I drove through the field to the top.
You did
like a boss.
So I think Nick, you're just trying to stir up drama because I feel like, just 2 weeks ago we were having the same conversation, and that was my argument for Matt Danson for being third place or second place, and you said I put him too high because of that reason.
No, the difference is he's won 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 in a rage quit. I think
there's a comment in the chat. It says Free Nards isn't even that good.
Oh.
Well, he's going to be on our show to address that topic. When? Like next month sometime?
Yeah, we can schedule. Yeah, so he's coming on. About a little over a month from now at Loudon on 7.
What's the criteria? Because I'm saying like the name after Pocono, like, do you just have to show up to get a spot on the show now? Surely we gotta tighten this up a little bit.
Well, we're just so popular that basically anybody who asks to be on the show can be on the show. So
I'm looking forward.
We didn't reach out to Your Highness, Dan. We didn't reach out to like you and ask for you to be on the show. Per my request, you're welcome. Always, you're welcome. So
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Steve episode, actually. So.
Yeah, I think 100% of this is people just being interested and wanting to be on. Yeah. Like, this is 100% requested. Everything that we have. I think if I look at my messages here too, I think we have another one in here too that we'll have on top of Brian and Thomas, who we've added since our last update. So, thanks for the interest, right? This is, again, 100% interest. I think this is our fifth or sixth guest on the show, our 7th guest on the show, including Matt Danson. So, thanks everyone for the interest. We're having a blast doing this. So, we got a lot of great guests coming up as well.
Who do you think they want to talk to? Why are they coming on the show? Are they coming for They're not coming for Danson? Mike, who did you come on the show for? No, they're not coming for you.
I actually came off for the team.
Okay. All right. Wow. Does that mean that's a compliment to everybody?
What team is that?
What team? The team.
Do you not see this?
Yeah, we talked about the team earlier, Matt. Yeah. Maybe we can go back to that a little bit because I want to give you some time to talk about Xtreme Performance Motorsports, right? So you guys are like second or third in the owner standings.
Yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah. So trying to do well, but according to Evan's rules, is that the top 3 people are the ones that score in points. So I can have 5 or 6 people on a team, but it is the top 3 is the one that scores the points.
Well, if you've got that many people on the team, it sounds like a benefit. I think it sounds like, Nick, we need to add a 3rd car for next year 100% so that we can run for the Owners Championship. I think that's the
I think
your brother joining?
Danson sent me a PM that we're going to just join his team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine us on
Breaking news. We're a part of we have an affiliation with Altus Esports. Now the 3 of us are sport points.
Organization.
And then I want to say, I want to basically say,
he's obviously the 3rd. Sorry.
I'm trying. But as far as the championship for the owners' points, it's going to be the top 3 of that owner's team that will get trophies.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. Drama.
So we definitely need to get a 3rd person in here. Okay.
Would anyone join?
All right.
So if we talk about Mara Motorsports, I don't know if anybody would even want to join the team.
If Danson's team happens to win, then since it's only him, he gets 1 trophy.
So what are the rules if
that's not going to happen? Danson's not 3. He's not 3 people. As great as he thinks he's not 3. He can't score 3 points.
My alt. I'm going to race my alt and then make another alt and race all 3 of those accounts each week.
You could probably race 3. You could probably race 3 different accounts in RSR on a road course and get 3 top 10s at the same time.
I will say, what are the rules around adding a team member who's already done some races, like mid-season?
That's considered your team.
Do we get the points that they've accrued already?
That would be up to Evan.
A really good way to beat Danson. Actually, can we just do it the last week of the year? Like, let's just wait 32 weeks and then, or 29 weeks, and week 30 we pick up like I don't even know. Just pick
Andrew Farinaj is not associated with the team in RSR.
That would be sick. Oh, can we please do that? That would just make me so happy if we could get him just out of spite. That's the only reason.
As far as the owners, that's all up to Evan.
You'd have to get a lot of winning banners done consistently. It wouldn't even be able to, like, it'd fill up my apartment in like 3 weeks.
Hang on, technical difficulties.
We got you. We can hear you. Maybe you can't hear us. That would be pretty great.
That would be pretty great. Can you hear us now, Danson? I don't think you can. Well, I guess to that point. Oh, he's back? Okay. Well, he missed a lot of jokes. So you missed a lot of jokes.
But I did hear Andrew is not currently associated with anything. I think I'm going to send him a message.
No.
Because
he's ours. No, he's ours.
We sent him a message first. So I
can guarantee ourselves trophies. That's perfect.
Can I send him a message saying we'd like you to join Mara Motorsports out of spite to Altus Esports? In name only. And that would be, I think he would say yes to that.
And what do we have to do to make it happen? Yeah, 100%. 100%. I would love that.
Yeah.
I reckon, yeah. I don't think I'm going to bring in all of Altus Esports into RSR and guarantee that we.
Yeah, but we're getting the 439 points that Drew has already accrued this year. We're going to be kicking your ass next week when we look at the owner standings.
Ooh. If I can bring in enough guys, you might not even be able to start the race.
You're only getting 3 per week. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, if you win all about this esports, the 3 of us are going to start missing races, so we don't want that. Okay. So maybe we tone it down a little bit, Matt. We don't want his team joining. They're all running 1 through 6, and we're watching. That's not what we want. We just want to have fun, okay? We're just here to have fun. We're not here to win. We were joking. It's a joke. Everything's fine.
Mike's like, you guys are missing the point of the Xtreme Performance Motorsports owner standings here. You guys are manipulating it.
True. Oh, true. You're right. Sorry. Hey, you do whatever you gotta. If you're not cheating, what's the phrase? You're not cheating. You're not trying. That's
but if you do happen to get Andrew, does Evan give you the points from back then, or does it start fresh?
Exactly.
I honestly feel like if he started over, we could still win with him.
Yeah. I agree.
Us accruing points of like half of a person and Andrew getting like 2, I think that we got a shot. So, well, I guess on that note, Mike, I don't know. Was there anything else we wanted to discuss, Matt? Did you have anything else? Okay. So we're gonna, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us and for dealing with us for a couple of hours. Sorry, Your Highness, of course, had to win, so we had to talk about that. Not the best. Yeah. So, but again, thank you for joining us. Who would you like to thank? I'm sure you got a lot of people you'd like to thank.
I definitely want to thank the team, RSR, Evan, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be in this situation. This podcast probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the league. And I just want to show this is an example of what trophies would look like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I want that on my wall behind me.
But it's an example.
We're not getting it. That's good to know.
Hey, anything is possible.
I think Brandon's got a good shot at getting that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mike. We really appreciate it. Of course, Danson, congrats. I say that half-heartedly. I didn't even send a message this time because I'm joking. We honestly, Matt and I were always very happy when you win, and I even think it was when I was watching the Dover race. I was really disappointed. I didn't know you had crashed, so I was watching it, and I was disappointed for us. So you mentioned us on the podcast, so you could thank us again now. But who else would you like to thank?
Wait, Mike, are you number 30, or is that Is that Marius?
I'm
You're
30.
number 30.
Marius is 03.
Okay. So I need to not thank Mike for taking my number. That's my number that I use across everything. And then I got to RSR and it was already taken. So thanks for stealing my identity, basically.
Well, Matt, if you wanted to, you could have numbers made for me for my street car because I have 30 on my street car.
Oh,
okay.
What if you maybe sell the car and then the world is your oyster? You can have whatever numbers you want.
I hear 05 would be available. I hear
You can have
05 would
30.
be available.
You can have any
You might want it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
What's
Why
your
have
bracket
30?
number? When I think of racing, I think of 05. That is what I think.
Exactly.
So I think you just have to go with it.
But as far as obviously, yeah, we'll give a shout out to Logitech, Astro Gaming, Virtual Racing School, Cube Controls, Racetech Seats, and Owned.tv Live.
I feel like Logitech is basically our sponsor at this point, so
True.
I can't wait to get those royalties for the show. I think
Yeah.
it's like 36 cents maybe per show. So proud of us.
Yeah. Who's your microwave? Who makes your microwave?
That's a Logitech microwave, actually. That's a Logitech microwave. It's not. I mean, it is. It is if they'll sponsor me. But yeah, otherwise, I don't know. It's a piece of shit. But obviously, thank you so much for joining us every week, and congratulations for real. We'll have to work on getting you that oval win so you can match Mara Motorsports' oval total for the year.
For the Cup Series.
For the Cup Series. For the Cup Series. This is a Cup Series show, so it's 1-0 scoreboard. And then, Matt, who would you like to thank?
I'll thank our sponsors, so Gamadale Technology and Mercury Energy, who's on my car. And then obviously McConey Setup Shop, Nick on your car, who's been sponsoring us. We've got some great sponsors. I know Sam called it out at some point. Gamadale sent over some awesome water bottle. I've got a shirt.
Wow.
Yeah, sick. These are the kind of sponsors that we need in iRacing. So if you get a chance, check out their site. You go Google search Gamadale Technologies. You'll find them. And Mercury Energy, $3 a can is about what you're going to pay anyways. And they're supporting us over here on the show and, in RSR. So go check them out. Stuff's delicious. Thank you to them. Has some great sponsors, again, that we're not, we don't deserve, but it's super appreciative of. And then obviously to all of our listeners here, quite a few tonight. The chat was active. Love seeing that.
Specifically, thank you.
Yeah, love seeing that. Love seeing the interaction. I feel really good about all of that. So please continue to be active in the chat. Reach out to us. You saw we had Sean's video in here at some point. If you have interest in getting a little segment or recording something and sharing it with us, that's a little less work we have to do as far as material. So happy to share it with everyone. If you want to break some news on here, keep it quiet and let us break it. That would be awesome too. Really, really excited about that. And everyone who is willing to be on the show, our last 7 guests, including you, Michael, and really excited for Evan next week. Should be a big episode.
We are. And actually, for all the listeners, future guests, and Danson, Gamadale Technologies on the website does have Matthew Mara merchandise that includes that water bottle and also includes a Matthew Mara shirt. So wow. I see Juan Pablo this week, Danson. I see Matthew Mara next week.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It's in blue, or it's in black and white. So I think I might have to buy one too because
hell yeah,
it's super interesting and I love it. So if you don't have one, yeah.
I want a signed shirt.
Yeah, actually, I think.
I'll give you a race used shirt after my 910 calories burned.
That's 915 calories at Sonoma. He'll give you that race used shirt.
Yeah,
carry for like 150.
I do have one question for you, Matt. Have you received your trophy yet?
Me? Have I received a trophy yet? Oh, Matt Danson.
He's talking about the one.
I was like, I don't win trophies. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I haven't yet. Hasn't arrived. The delivery that came during the other race, was that Coda? I think that was during Coda.
Yeah.
That was, what was that? It was something from Amazon. Yeah.
It would be great if you get it within the next week. For when Evan is on the show, so we can. Play it.
Oh, so maybe as soon as I get it, I'll be like it'll go probably around my Jimmy Johnson, Lewis Hamilton, alley stuff, everything I got over there.
Well, so. I mean, three greats.
Yeah,
Matt Danson, Lewis Hamilton, Jimmy Johnson. I can't think of a better three champions to really put on your shelf, including yourself. So hopefully that comes next week. And we are excited for next week as well, obviously. So we'll have Evan on. So like you mentioned, so really excited for that. So I guess that'll kind of wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, Mike, guys, good luck. Hopefully the All-Star race is good. I'm sure we'll have plenty. I know we'll have plenty to talk about next week. After the turns, thank you so much. This is Nick Mara. Have a great night.